Hello, everybody, and welcome to Premier League predictions for round 36, where Mikey assures me there are only 3 dead rubbers, despite the Premier League title and the relegation already being sorted. I'm here with the fabulous Mikey Pentti-Smith, and we drew again last week, Mikey. It was a 5-all. I was getting a bit worried when I was checking them off because you got the first 3 outcomes, and I'm like, oh my God, bit of a streak going here. But in the end, I was saved by, was it Fulham 1, Villa 0? I've got that the right way around, haven't I?
Other way around. Yeah.
Other way around. There you go. Villa 1, Fulham 0, excuse me. I got it bob on, whatever it was, and that saved me. So we already know that Mikey's won the weekly, 15 in it on the aggregate. So unless we get some fireworks the next couple of weeks, you're fairly safe, Mikey. Welcome.
Yeah, cheers, Ben. I think last week we said that we're a little bit like Ipswich. We've got these fixtures that we just need to play between now and the end of the season with not much riding on them. But as the Ipswich game last week showed, we can still enjoy them, Ben. And I know that you're calling it on the beach, but before we started recording this, we were talking about trips to the tip. So, yeah, slightly different mindset to relaxing on the beach. Stuff to do.
I love being a dad, and I love going to the tip, and I love it at Christmas where I spend the entire time just going in and out of the boot of my car. Absolutely tremendous dad life. And I'm sure we've got plenty of fathers in the comments who watch this show, so they can relate greatly. And we've got plenty of people who love to comment on this show. Get your predictions in. Looking forward to some receipts from the Bournemouth fans this week, Mike, after their incredible win at Arsenal. We'll get to Bournemouth in a bit. Well played, lads. You take the W on this one, but get down there in the comments. We'll put the fixtures in the description. See how you get on. Give yourself 1 point for a correct outcome. Home away or draw. Give yourself 3 points for a correct scoreline. Give yourself a bonus point if we get some on the beach goal action. You can start us off with the Thomas Radzinski derby, Fulham versus, I didn't prep that. Fulham versus Everton.
That's nice. That shows the inner workings
Canadian
of your mind,
striker,
Ben. Polish, I believe.
Polish, okay.
Yeah. Fulham, unfortunately for them, on the outside looking in at the moment in the race for Europe, possibly too much traffic ahead of them. They're behind the 3 Bs, Bournemouth, Brighton and Brentford. And looking at it, I think they probably need 7 points from their last 3 games. So they'll definitely be circling Everton at home. Everton don't really have much to play for. Obviously, they've got that final game at Goodison to look forward to. But yeah, Fulham fans definitely be circling this as a must-win. Everton, frustrating draw for them against Ipswich. So good in the first half, Ben, and should have ran away with the game, really. But yeah, just sat back and tried to defend a 2-1 lead, and it didn't work out for them. And yeah, memories of Sean Dyche for some Everton fans there. But they've got Dwight McNeil back. He scored a nice goal from his perspective, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin came off the bench as well. So all of a sudden, they've got 3 centre-forwards, Ben, in Beto, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Alejandro Broya. I think I've got that right. Fulham unbeaten in their last 6 games against Everton. I'm backing them to continue that run here. I'm going for a 2-1 home win at the Cottage.
Yeah, I think I might take the draw, Mikey, just based on what you've said about Fulham's recent form. And I think Moyes will get a reaction from people. Whenever a side concedes a 2-goal lead, it's always that you threw it away, whether that's the case or not. There's always that editorialization of that. But that's how the Everton fans will see it, especially at home against the already relegated Ipswich side. So I think he'll get a reaction, Mikey. So I'm going to go for a classic opening prediction. You know what's coming, Mikey. Throw your ones up. 1-1. It's Ipswich versus Brentford. And I don't know how you feel about this. I'm feeling goals in this one. Yep. I think Brentford are hyper goalie, aren't they? And I think Ipswich they're normally quite free at home with McKenna. And I think when they know the opponent is going to kind of throw balls in the box and get players forward. And I think Viscera and Bomo have both nearly got 20 now, haven't they? So isn't it funny that we never mentioned Ivan Toney? I thought that was going to be an absolute disaster for Brentford, but no Toney, no problem. I'm going to play for a bonus point here. I'd love an Ipswich win, so I'm going completely heart over head. And I'm going to go for 3-2, a home win and a treat for the long-suffering home fans at Portman Road, Mikey. You anywhere close to that?
Yeah, I'm going Ipswich 2, Brentford 3, Ben.
Or the other way around?
Same logic, really. I was at the reverse fixture at the G-Tech Stadium, and it was just
4-3.
a crazy 4-3, and Brentford I think, must have had 4 or 5 4-3s at home this season. They had another against Manchester United last week. Ipswich, not a good record against Brentford, Ben. Brentford have just been better than us for a long time, haven't they? One league win in 16 against the Bees. But an uplifting second half performance for Ipswich at Goodison, as we mentioned in the Everton roundup. Amari Hutchinson and Axel Tuanzebe are back. They make a big difference to this Ipswich team. But yeah, Brentford, 3 wins in a row have got them up to 9th, and they'll just be head down. Come on, we can do this. We can get in Europe. And if they win this one, as I expect them to do, then they're almost there.
I love how they just keep rolling this out further and further. You know, it's like 10 years now of excellent achievement from Brentford. Mikey, Southampton, Man City, I'm feeling you're going to go for a heavy away win here.
Yeah, you'd be right. Memories of Gabriel Jesus scoring to ensure that they had a 100-point season back in 2017-18. Yeah. A classic De Bruyne long pass over the top, and Jesus just brilliant first touch and finish. And that was quite a good Southampton team back then. Hasn't been a vintage Man City season this time, but they're in prime position to still finish in the Champions League positions. And Erling Haaland will return in this one. Ben, I'm not sure whether he's going to start or whether he's going to come off the bench. But you'd fancy him to bag a couple here, wouldn't you? I'm going Southampton 1, Manchester City 4.
Wow. I think we've done this before, but someone will tell us in the comments. Erling Haaland's record against promoted teams is utterly ridiculous. He just obliterates all of them, 2s and 3s every time. Okay, you've gone for the bonus. I'll keep it a little bit calmer then. Would they ease off? Could it be a 2-0? Don't think they'll get that close, will they, Saints? I'm going to go 3-0 then, Man City. Could be anything, though, if City are not playing this as, okay, just get it done and get the 3 points. Yeah, could be a big score, unfortunately, for... Speaking of long-suffering, for the long-suffering Saints fans. Wolves versus Brighton. Well, Wolves finally lost, didn't they, to Manchester City last time out. What did Brighton do against Newcastle? Was it draw in the end? Yeah, I had Newcastle winning that, didn't I? This is a difficult one to call, mate. I might have to go down the middle on this one. I can't separate these two, especially given... Do you know what? I'd go even further as to say I can't see Brighton winning, but I could see Wolves winning. But I'm going to play the draw. I'm going to play another 1-1, Mikey.
Yeah, I'm going Wolves 2, Brighton 1. I just think Wolves are a better side than Brighton at the moment. They had their winning run ended last Friday night at the Etihad, but as I predicted, and that wasn't like a bold prediction or anything, but I predicted that they'd get chances, and they really should have scored in that game. Brighton, they can beat absolutely anyone. And they were a match for a good Newcastle team last week, drawing 1-1. But I just think they're just a slightly flawed team, and I can see Wolves picking up where they left off a couple of weeks ago with a 2-1 win.
Bournemouth versus Villa.
Yeah, that's a big game, a huge game for both. Bournemouth. Fair play. How many times have I had to do this? I just find them so hard to predict, Ben. I feel like I do predict them to win quite often, and I often get that wrong. They're 5 games unbeaten, really refound their form. Best ever season for them in terms of where they're going to finish and how many points are on the board. I think it might have been last week, might have been the week before, where I spoke about Evan Nielsen and how Bournemouth seems to be slightly more successful when he isn't playing, despite being a good player. Well, not only did they prove me wrong with the result at Arsenal, Evan Nielsen popped up with a winner. City away next for them. So they're probably looking at this as must win, even though it's against a good Villa side who got back into the hunt for the Champions League places with that narrow win over Fulham. They're 7th, but only 4 points off 3rd. So a lot can change here with Newcastle playing Chelsea. Watkins, though, needs to recapture his scoring touch. He was just off it against Fulham in terms of his finishing. But I'm going to back them to do it. Bournemouth fans will rejoice because I'm going for them to lose, which means they're probably going to win. I'm going Bournemouth 1, Aston Villa 2.
Well, I'm tempted to flip that around, but I'm chasing my tail. I'm like a gambler, doubling down on losing bets here with Bournemouth. I'll probably back Bournemouth, and then they'll probably lose. I don't mind a Desmond here, Mikey, but not that you should predict like this. I've already had 2 draws out of 4 games, so I don't really want to do another draw. So yeah, I will back Bournemouth then to follow up a brilliant win at Arsenal, and I'll flip your scoreline then because it's going to be tight. I'll go Bournemouth 2, Villa 1. Right, so this is the biggest game then of the weekend. It's Newcastle versus Chelsea. So they're both tied on 63 points, both tied on 21 goal difference as well. So Newcastle must be above there on goals scored, and it's only 4 goals more as well. So it's incredibly tight. We could get something very close come the end of the season. Although with a head-to-head this close to the end of the season, this could actually sort it out, couldn't it? I've been pretty high on Newcastle for the most part, especially in home games here. But then Chelsea beat Liverpool, didn't they? We both got that one wrong. But then were Liverpool hungover or after the Lord Mayor's show? My hunch is both teams to score and a Newcastle win. So I'll go with that, and I'll go 2-1, Mikey.
Yeah, I'm going with the same, but I think I'm going Newcastle 3, Chelsea 1. But I think this is one of those games, Ben, where no result would be a shock, apart from maybe a 0-0. You could see either team winning this easily. You could see either team winning this by a narrow margin in a high-scoring game. You could see it being a little bit cagey because of how much is on the line, and you could definitely see both sides settling for a point and hoping that the other teams around them drop points. But yeah, Chelsea are in action on tonight with recording on Thursday. I don't think that affects it much because they're at home and they're probably putting a reserve team out in that. Cole Palmer's back. I think that's more relevant. He's back scoring. Scored a penalty against Liverpool. Very unlucky not to score from open play as well. He was excellent in that game. Newcastle, as we've already mentioned, got what might turn out to be a good point away at Brighton. But it's only a good point if they can follow that up with a home win here.
Agreed.
I think they're going to do it, Ben. I just think that there's a little bit more harmony in this Newcastle team and at home. Big atmosphere. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff, but I'm sure the Geordies will still find time for a few beverages before the game starts.
Man United versus West Ham. These two suck, don't they?
They do, yeah. The Teddy Sheringham derby, just to throw a little bit of class in there, and obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka is returning to Old Trafford for the first time as a visiting player, I think. So this is 15th against 17th, and United could end. They could end this match week 17th if they lose this one. But West Ham are winless in their last 16 in the league at Old Trafford. Ben, can you remember the last time they won there?
No. Was it Barthez and Di Canio?
No, that was an FA Cup game. It was slightly more recent than that, but a huge game in the history of West Ham United.
Carlos Tevez.
Exactly, yeah. Carlos Tevez. I think his last game before leaving for Old Trafford, scoring the winner in that one, and that ensured survival for them. Sean Bean wasn't very happy about that one, or Neil Warnock. That's 2 weeks in a row I've mentioned Neil Warnock.
Brilliant.
Manchester United are playing Athletic Bilbao, but they do have a good advantage going into that one. So they hope.
Yeah, that went better than we expected, didn't we?
Yeah,
we were both sat here last week.
I don't think Manchester United expected it to go like that. They've got Ahmad back as well, so maybe they'll have a little purple patch between now and that Europa League final that they should get to. So I'm going Manchester United to win this one, albeit by a narrow margin, 2-1.
Just been doing my playoff research, and Amad Diallo obviously scored an absolute worldie for Sunderland in the playoffs 2 years ago against Luton. They went on to lose the tie, but yeah, he has been front and centre on my YouTube search history this morning. I'm going to back Man United as well. I don't trust West Ham at the moment, particularly in an away game. And just the idea of Manchester United being 17th is absurd. So I don't think it's going to come to pass. And that would put them over the magic 40 points. Hey, let's go. I'll go 2-0. I'll shave 1 goal off your prediction. And it is Nottingham Forest versus Leicester. Don't know if there's any word we could use to describe a game between two sides of similar geographical proximity, but I think Forest get the win in this one. They've been a little bit sticky, haven't they? And it was I think you were mentioning it last time, the defeat. They lost at home to Brentford. That's an absolute killer, wasn't it? But yeah, I think they go back to winning ways here, despite Leicester obviously managing to pick up a win, because everyone beats Southampton, don't they? It's a joke for all you Ipswich fans there. So I'll go for a classic 1-0. Or shall I go? Let's go for Forest to blow the cobwebs off and actually score a few goals in this one. I'll go 3-0 Forest. It's either 1-0 or 3-0 to Forest. What do you reckon?
That's annoying because that's a scribble for me.
You got the same rationale, yeah?
Yeah, I'll switch it to 2-0. Yeah, Forest probably need to win out now. They might see that draw at Palace where they battled hard for a draw really in the end against Palace. Eze hit the bar late on. They'll probably see that as a good point, but much like Newcastle, who got that draw against Brighton, they need to follow it up with a win at home. Leicester, we know that they've had a bad season. I think they've only won once away from home all season. That was away at Spurs. But they also have a terrible record away at the City ground. 1 win in 18 away league visits. That makes Ipswich's record at Norwich look good, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
But Jamie Vardy is only 1 goal away from that landmark record, and you just know that he'd love to do it in an environment like an away
with our
derby.
Ipswich hat on, we'd like him to get it out of the way this week, right?
Yeah, it would be handy. Yeah. It feels nailed on to happen against us, doesn't it?
Yeah, right. What did you go for, Mikey? 2-0 I've got
2-0.
down here. Is that right? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Right, Tottenham versus Palace.
Yeah, and if I'm a neutral fan of the Premier League, Ben, fingers crossed this is a game between two sides looking forward to cup finals. Palace obviously got the FA Cup final in a week or so's time. And Tottenham hoping to get to the Europa League final, where they'll probably play Manchester United. It's just bizarre, isn't it?
Where is that final, Mikey?
It's in Bilbao.
Oh, where they've just recently played, yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think Athletic Bilbao were definite favourites to win it, because you'd back them to win there in a final. But yeah, Palace, they're going to... Let's say Tottenham do get through. It's not guaranteed. They've got to go to Bodo Glimt and not get beaten soundly. Can Spurs do that? Who knows? But they'll approach this game in a different way, because Palace are going to continue to play their best side and try and get more minutes than the legs of players like Adam Wharton ahead of the cup final, where Spurs will definitely rotate. They're missing James Maddison. I think whatever happens against Bodo Glimt, I think this will be an after the event game. So I'm going Palace to narrowly win this one 2-1.
I had 2-2 down, but as you were talking, you were very convincing that this is going to be an away win. So I don't know whether I should blink and change my mind. My first piano teacher, Mr. Simpson, told me in exams, always go with your gut instinct. So I think I'd better stick with the 2-2. Spurs are capable of anything at home, Mikey, and I know Palace are a better side and more consistent. Your European argument's a good one as well, isn't it? I don't know. I'm going with my gut instinct. I said 2-2, but yeah, you've put the fear of the away win into my brain. Finally, it's Liverpool versus Arsenal, which I had pegged down as the kind of day that Liverpool would win the title. Obviously, that happened a couple of games ago, and I don't know what you think. like Arteta was in a grump last night after the Champions League thing, and I didn't see the game, but I just had a quick look at the numbers, and it looks like they wasted loads of chances. It was a bit of a frustrating one, and I think they're going to come back in a grump. They're going to be knackered, and then you've got to go all the way up to Liverpool. So I've got this down as a home win. I'm going 2-0 Liverpool, Mikey.
Yeah, I'm going for Liverpool to win this one. They're both teams coming off the back of a loss. So yeah, Arsenal started that game brilliantly, Ben, and they really, really pressed.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, they put a lot of physical and emotional energy into that game. Thomas Partey was launching long throws into the box, and by the end of the game, he could barely reach the penalty area because his arms were so tired from doing it over and over again. From Liverpool's perspective, they'll want to finish with a bit of a flourish and get to 90 points. And of course, it's the Trent Alexander-Arnold farewell tour, and Salah looking to wrap up the Golden Boot. Has a game between the top two in the Premier League ever meant so little, Ben? Get your answers in the comments. I'm not sure it has, but yeah, I'm going Liverpool to win this one comfortably, 3-1.
Brilliant stuff. Get your predictions in the comments. That is the slate for round 36. You can find all the fixtures down there in the description. Give yourself a point for a correct outcome. 3 for a correct scoreline. Bonus points, Mikey. I think you've got one here. You get one for 5 or more goals. Yeah, there's only one there.
I've got 2, haven't I?
Have you? Sorry, you got 3-2 in there.
Yeah.
Oh, we've both got 3-2s on Ipswich Brentford, and you've got Saints Man City, a Mikey classic, a 4-1 Man City. Normally in home games, though, those are, mate. But
yeah,
there you go. You at a game this weekend?
No football for me this weekend, Ben. Yeah, I think I'm done actually with live games this season. Goodison Park was my last one, so yeah, I'll be watching the playoffs from my sofa with interest.
Brilliant stuff. You've set me up beautifully there, because I will have one more live game coming up on 24th of May, but we've got to figure out who I'm going to be watching in that game down at Wembley. Playoff football starts tonight as we're recording. Obviously, this is going to come out on the Friday. So if you do want to join me tonight as this is coming out, we've got Coventry versus Sunderland. I'm not going to be across League One. I mean, I'll keep a look at it, but then we'll be back for the watch-alongs on Monday night and Tuesday night as the games flip round, and it's Sheffield United, Bristol City and Sunderland versus Coventry to see who is going to be lining up at Wembley for that one game for the Premier League. Come and join us for that. And I will also be on the Sportsman channel immediately after those games have finished as well. So if you're a subscriber over there, go and give it a look. Mikey and I will be back for round 37, same time next week, and we hope to see you then.